everybody. My name is Gabe Blanchette. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Grove. Your time is so valuable, and your attention is even more so. So let's dig right in. I'm here to talk today about the oldest industry on Earth and how seriously messed up it is. Agriculture accounts for 70% of our water use on the entire planet. Furthermore, we're dumping glyphosate pesticides on top of all these crops, and we're dumping petrochemically derived nitrate fertilizer into our soil, which grows plants fast, but it's literally poisoning the water underneath the fields. Beyond that, we package all of the food that we ship around the world. Americans discard 570 million pounds of food packaging every single day. Of course, the food has to get to where it's traveling. So the average head of lettuce travels 1,500 miles. That's not only bad because of the petrochemicals used to transport and refrigerate the supply chain, but it's bad because of the actual food. The food we eat today is engineered for that journey and to look good on shelves instead of for nutrition and taste. Did you guys know that a peach that you pick up at the store today has 2% of the vitamin C content that same peach would have had in the early 1950s? 2%. That's ridiculous. We're packaging our food up so that it can look good at the grocery store and it can travel for 2-3 weeks. We're not packaging it for taste or for health. Along this whole chain, 40% of that food is thrown out. So there's ridiculous waste along the whole supply chain. But the bigger problem, and something that should strike you a bit closer to home, is that the food that's consumed makes 100 million Americans obese, and 69% of cancer can be directly related to diet. The whole thing is ridiculous, and it needs rethinking. What we want to do at Grove is bring food home again. This is the Grove ecosystem. You use it to grow your own fresh, organic, healthy fruits and vegetables right in your home year-round. It can't get more local than this. You've got families, you've got kids working together to grow their own food. We're inspiring and we're educating the next generation of farmers, the next generation of people to actually care about our planet and about the food that they and their families eat. So how does the Grove ecosystem work? At the bottom, you've got an aquarium. You feed the fish and the other aquatic life, and they produce urea and ammonia, which gets pumped up to the top gardening bed. Bacteria in that main gardening bed convert that fish waste into plant fertilizer. And then clean the water and it goes back into the aquarium. So you've got this natural cycle that's going on all the time, and you're growing fresh, healthy, delicious produce, and all you've got to do is top up the fish tank with water and add in fish food. Over the past year, we've worked hard to deliver 50 prototypes to early adopters in the Boston area. The results have been fantastic. There's been hundreds of harvests. Some of our early adopters report harvesting over a bowl of salad every other day for their family. But it's not just about salad greens. This isn't just a salad growing device. Our early adopters have reported growing over 75 unique crops. We're talking about things like beans and strawberries and tomatoes, really delicious things. Some of my favorite moments are definitely when I get pictures of kids engaging with the ecosystem. It's really special. There's been kids now who were born, literally brought home from the hospital with an ecosystem in their home. These kids are just going to think it's totally natural to have your refrigerator, to have your microwave, and to have a Grove ecosystem. That's where you grow your food. Duh. Jess in New Hampshire has a goal for her and her family to produce in her garden outside and in her 3 Grove ecosystems inside 100% of her family's food within 2 years. That's awesome. We're totally inspired by that. Jess and her kids spend 20-30 minutes a day tending to everything, planting seeds, feeding the fish, caring about the entire ecosystem. So for them, their Grove ecosystem is a lifestyle. It's something they love doing every day. Contrast that a bit with Nikki and Dan, who are in their late 20s. They also live in Boston, and they're busy folks. they love their ecosystem for almost the opposite reason, because it's pretty hands-off. They come home and there's a slice of nature right in their living room. It's a real centerpiece at parties with their millennial friends. And they love, I mean, they're both chefs, so they love cooking with the fresh culinary herbs. Craig is the director of culture at Involution Studios. He got a Grove ecosystem for their office because he knows intuitively that having life around, having nature right in their office promotes higher levels of efficiency. It's also something they just love doing together as an office. We're inspired by nature. So on top of this ecological platform, we've developed a technology platform. There you saw the efficient LED lights gliding up and down. You saw integrated storage, and you saw sensors that are connected to Grove OS, which is our mobile application. Grove OS is an incredible tool because it gives everybody a green thumb. If you don't think you know how to grow food, that's because you probably don't. You need a guide. You need an elder. You need someone to guide you along the journey. That's what Grove OS does. It also gives you access to other people who are on this journey with you, and it gives you access to the Grove market, where you can buy all the seeds and supplies you need to get growing inside, but eventually outside as well. We're developing some really cool technology for Grove OS. So it's not just for people who have the hardware, who have a Grove ecosystem. We're developing technology that's going to be useful for the 41 million households who already garden in some capacity in the United States. There's a lot of people that grow plants, that grow food, and they want these types of tools. One of the coolest tools that we're prototyping right now that I just love to show, it's called VeggieEye. And VeggieEye is machine vision technology. If you have a leaf, one basil plant in your windowsill or an entire thriving garden that you don't know what's going on with, you take a picture of it. We look for things like chlorosis or leaf cupping, and then we try to diagnose exactly what it could be. Right now, we're around 50% accurate, and we hope to get it between 70 and 80% before we ship this to every gardener in the world. But we're not just innovating on software, obviously. One area that we're really proud of, and hopefully you guys saw in the lobby today, is the LED lighting. Now, our custom Grove LED lights, they don't look like a plant factory. Instead, they really bring life. Sunrises, sunsets, the full color temperature right into your home. Here you can see my co-founder with his Grove ecosystem going through sunrise and sunset. The Grove ecosystem can literally set families' circadian rhythms. Some people have it in their bedrooms and use it as an alarm clock, which is super, super cool. So with all this technology, the early adopter program, we wanted to actually start to test this past fall market response. This is a new idea for a lot of people. This is us launching a Kickstarter in November of last year. It was super fun for the team. The market responded incredibly well. Our social channels went pretty crazy, doubled, tripled overnight. And our product video went totally viral with over 10 million views on BuzzFeed and Weather Channel. We hit our funding goal of $100,000 within 24 hours, and then by the end of the campaign, 130 people had purchased a $3,000 appliance that they'd never seen before. We traveled across the country and hosted major product demos, kick-ass parties in most major cities. That was a total blast. In those product demos, when we traveled across, it became so evident that Grove means so many things, so many different things to so many different people. Not everybody's ready in their lives or in their finances to put down $4,000 or $4,500 towards a Grove ecosystem. But we saw during those demos that it's not just a product or an appliance. It's a lifestyle that people want. It's fresh food. It's fresh oxygen. It's nature. It's connection to something that a lot of us have really lost touch with. This was us in Seattle. This was our best attended party. Powering this is the Grove team. We're 16 people strong now. We've got great engineering, product, and marketing talent from some of the top companies and definitely the top schools. But I can't say enough about this team. We're based in Somerville, Massachusetts. Behind this team, we've managed to assemble a pretty amazing set of investors and advisors. Galvanize Ventures has been fantastic. They offer us access to sort of on-the-ground market conditions and tech talent across all the cities that they have campuses in. That's where we threw a lot of those parties. Tim and Gary are really helping my co-founder Jamie and I, who are MIT engineers through and through, really learned how to market and message and brand this idea. Then we've got Jamie McCourt and Stephen Ross, and these are great investors to have for us because they really support our long-term vision of having groves built right into homes as they're being built. We'll be ready for that in just a few years. And then thanks to the Upfront team. Kevin sits on our board. Mark and Eve and the rest of the partners have been fantastic, really patient investors for us. Big ideas like this, complicated ideas, take time. And they've really mentored me and the entire team to take our time, to be very thoughtful. They found us when Jamie, my co-founder, had built this system in our fraternity room at MIT. This was 3 years ago, and when he built this, I was super skeptical. I was not a gardener, and I didn't really focus much on my food. I was a college athlete. I just wanted calories. So he built this. I was extremely skeptical. But within a few months of living with it, I started to love it. I started to love that ecosystem. Because it wasn't just about the fresh food that we were harvesting every day. It was about the lifestyle. It was about having fresh oxygen right in that fraternity room. It was about the fraternity literally shifting focus from the TV room, which was downstairs, into our room. People would sit around and feed the fish and pick lettuce like it was no big deal. So if you're skeptical, if you saw that outside or you're seeing this presentation, you're skeptical, I encourage you to either build your own ecosystem or buy the Grove ecosystem and start growing. Because it'll have a profound impact. Not just the actual greens that you grow. It's not what it's about. It's about being more connected to nature and to food and to each other. You're going to think differently about the choices you make when you're out to eat. You're going to think differently about how you connect with your kids at home. The Grove ecosystem can literally bring a new lifestyle into people's homes and lives. So where do we go as a company? Well, we're not just one product. We've got visions of a lot of different types of hardware products for all different types of environments, both in the home, in classrooms, in offices, and in restaurants. But fundamentally, we're a community. We're a community of people who believe that entire supply chain, the food we're being fed, that should be in our control, just like it used to be. The community is strong and growing, not just with the people who have the hardware, but the thousands of people who we plan to offer VeggieEye to and the other components of Grove OS over the coming year. So I'm Gabe. This is Grove. And forge ahead with us. Come on out, see the ecosystem in the lobby, and my co-founder and I are here to answer any questions after. Thank you, guys.